Alright guys, I just got back from a Captain Marvel screening and I'm hiding in the bathroom because I couldn't take everybody with me, so I don't want the family members that didn't come with me to hear what I have to say. This is a no spoiler review, but they're a little jealous. Here's my thoughts on the movie. Lots of laughs. I'm going to come off and say that right off the bat. I'm usually not somebody that sort of like giggles in my seat while I'm in the theater, but I did find myself laughing a few times. There were some key players in the movie that were planted in a really great way, and they definitely brought out the humor at the right moment. You know, you watch the cat in the trailer, it ends up playing a pretty funny part, and I think he's like my favorite key player of the whole entire movie. When I was watching this movie, I did find reference, like visual reference, to so many other movies. Like there were moments in the movie where the shield barricade of the earth sort of reminded me of how the Black Panther shield was, and then there were moments where they were running around the ship and I felt like I was sort of in a Guardians of the Galaxy ship, and then there were fighting scenes where spaceships were sort of going in and out of like this Grand Canyon sort of caverns and sort of rocks and everything, and that felt very Star Wars to me. And so I didn't know if that was intentional. There were I could really almost point out every single movie. Like I saw moments of Thor, I saw moments of the Hulk, I saw moments of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was watching it and I was sort of like, is this on purpose or is this just me being crazy? Like, is this happening because they're trying to say that Captain Marvel is going to tie it all together and they're doing this in a very visual way? Or is this just me being over dramatic and over picky, and I'm just looking out for all these things and I shouldn't be seeing these things, but I'm making myself see these things? So I'm very curious if you see this movie, if you find that as well. Like I was watching this stuff and I was like, oh, this is like Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, this is that ship reminds me of this moment, and that hallway looks like when Rocket did this thing, and I don't know. Is this just my head, or did you find that too? As far as Captain Marvel, she did get some negative flack in the press about her sort of demeanor, whether or not she has this attitude or this sort of, I don't know, nonchalant way of acting. Her choice of presenting Captain Marvel, I guess, is the way to best say it. People are finding it off-putting. It's sort of what I've been reading or what I read before I went. Just very high level. I'm seeing Facebook people sort of like the titles of it is sort of what I'm sort of briefing through. And I got where that was coming from. I got the vibe of it, but I also understood why she went that route. Like I understood, and there's a scene at the end of the movie where you kind of understand why she has this hard shell, and I got why she decided to go that way with Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel couldn't have been this doe-eyed, passionate, loving, peace, love, and sunshine girl, because she doesn't know who she is. She's fighting for her life to try to figure out her purpose. She doesn't know what side she belongs on. She doesn't know if she's on the right side. She, you know, she's has this inner struggle, this outer struggle. She's having this constant battle all around on 365 degrees, internally and externally. How can you expect her to be any other way but shelled? And you know, once you sort of hear her whole story, then you kind of understand why Brie decided to sort of go that way. Do you, as a, you know, I guess, you know, as a person who's watching it in the theater, you know, is that a character that you can draw to? Is that a character that you can associate with or cheer on or immediately find an emotional connection with? I guess that's the draw. Can you find an emotional connection to a person that is disassociating themselves with everybody around her? And that's the hard sell, right? But as the story sort of progresses, of course, she softens and we get to know a little bit more about Captain Marvel. And I feel like it put us in a really good spot for Avengers. And if I'm being really honest with you guys, because like I said, many times this channel is truly my hobby channel, and it's just something that I'm doing. I'm not a movie critic. I'm not one of those people that is sitting there and just trying to be like all snobby and I know all these things and I know all these like name producers and all of that. Like, no, I'm just somebody that loves the movies, and I'm just somebody that just wants to talk about how I feel about when I watch the movies, and I want to hear what you have to say. And I just feel like Captain Marvel was a really great setup for Avengers. It's got me totally revved up for Endgame. And if that's how this movie was supposed to position me, then it did it. And, is it worth the ticket price? Yes. Does it have the CGI and the effects and the fighting and the storyline to make it worth you go to the movies to see it? Yes. Is she the person that I maybe would have cast if I can go back and do it again? I don't know. I'm not like 110% on her side. Like I said, her choice to play her in that way, there's consequences with it. And for me, I was sitting next to somebody in the movie theater and we were talking a little bit about her personality. And, he said she's no Wonder Woman. And when you hear it like that, it's true. There's a lot more. There's a whole different side to a superhero when you involve emotion. And Captain Marvel, for a good portion of the movie, was struggling with emotion, and that again, it has consequences. So I just, but having said that, I still enjoyed it, and I still would definitely encourage you to see it. Last thing, I know this is a long video. In the movie, there's all these different references to different points of different movies. So I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to ruin things, but a bad guy shows up from, another movie, and, some old agents from old movies show up and they're young. And then all of a sudden you have this element from another movie that you heard before, and now it's all starting here. And there's two end scenes, so you have to make sure that you stay for the two end scenes. But there's all these little moments that if you really are a true Marvel fan, or if you're a true fan of Marvel, you pick them up, and you're sitting there and going, oh, that's that, blah blah blah, and oh, that's the guy. Okay, that's the villain, and oh, here we go, and that's how that started. And they gave us so much in Captain Marvel that even if you don't connect emotionally with this main character, like you fall in love with Thor, he's so approachable, he's so witty, he's so funny, he's so sexy, you just love him, right? And whatever story he takes you on, it almost doesn't matter because it's him. I don't know if I have that with her. I don't know if she can give that. I understood a little bit where the pushback came from after finally seeing the movie. But having said that, there is no way that you cannot see this movie if you are a Marvel fan. You need to see this movie in order to progress to the next moment. Because it really does it just gets you just right. It puts you where you need to be. So that's what I have to say. I really hope that you guys leave me a comment and let me know what you think once you see it. And I'm hiding in my bathroom at 10 o'clock at night making this review. So that's all. And until next time.